Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the G&E Life and Legacy podcast, and this is episode number 3.
We are on keeping end in mind.
Keeping the end in mind. Before we get going, I wanted to say a couple things coming up next weekend. We got the Way Through experience with Scott D coming up. That is a life-changing, trauma-releasing. I don't even know how to say it. If you check it out, it's well worth looking into. It will change your life. That is with Scott D, the Way Through experience. And then we got Rad Ink's free love event where they'll be doing free tattoos. I got my my Rad Ink shirt on, representing here for Robbie Ripple, and I'll be there. That's from 12 to 8 next Saturday. And they'll be giving away free tattoos all day as a pay-forward event. So if you can come to that. And then we got the 7th annual Largest Heart 5K Saturday morning up there in Winter Garden. I couldn't remember which one it was.
And we also have another very important event. His town hall meeting for Florida Recovery Schools coming up shortly.
That's on the 26th. That's 2 weeks out, so we got a little bit of time.
It's 2 weeks out, but it is a very important event to the both of us. I will be streaming it once again. A little bit better this time, but I'll be streaming it on Zoom. If you guys are interested, It's FloridaRecoverySchools.org.
Florida Recovery, FRSCF.org. FRSCF.org.
You can told him to get that domain to make it nice and easy. But yeah, if you guys could sign up, there is either live or Zoom. If you're doing it Zoom, you can do that from anywhere. If you're doing it live, it will be in St. Cloud, Florida. We hope to see many of you there. This is for Florida Recovery Schools, something that he's been participating in
where we serve students from 14 to 19-year-olds struggling with addiction, with substance use disorder.
We started it when?
4 years ago now. 4 years, 2000 something. 2000? Yeah.
4 years ago would be 2000.
4 years, 18, right?
2020.
Yeah, 2020. So yeah, lots of stuff going on. And tonight we were wanting to talk about the second habit and the habits of highly effective people. Zeke's studying from the teen version. I'm studying from the adult version, if it's an adult version, the non-teen version.
We're starting to learn that there's more differences than we thought.
There's a lot of differences.
His goes a bit more in depth. Mine's more just easier way of putting it together.
But so it starts out with thinking about your funeral, actually.
Mine starts out from a phrase from Wonderland.
Yeah.
Alice in Wonderland.
So what does yours start out with?
Mine starts off as, would you tell me, please, which way I ought to walk from here? That depends a good deal on where you want to get to, said the cat. I don't much care where, said Alice. Then it doesn't matter which way to walk, said the cat. That basically means if you don't really have a plan on where you're going, why does it matter which way you end up taking?
Right.
So you need an end in mind in order to know which way you want to end off at.
And I've heard that expressed before, is if you don't have an idea where you're going, you're already there. So if you don't have a goal for your life. But the adult version goes into a pretty serious mentality of thinking about if this was your funeral and 4 people were going to talk, what would they say? If your son was going to talk, what would they say? If your daughter was going to talk, if your wife was going to talk, if your friends were going to talk, what would they say about you? And if you hadn't really taken time to think about that, I had the opportunity with a good friend of mine, Shannon Procyse, a couple of weeks ago to do an exercise like this to really give you a sense of urgency, because you don't know when D-Day is. You don't know when that day that you're going to die. We all have a born on date, but we don't really know when that done date is going to be. So to give you a sense of urgency for things you want to do, goals you'd like to meet, and then a legacy you'd like to leave. And that's why I liked our vision of this for life and legacy, because you do have an opportunity to make a difference with your life. And if you're not intentional about it, life will just pass you by. You'll blink 2 or 3 times, and next thing you know, you're 57 years old and no longer 17 years old, and you'll find that life has passed you right by, and you'll just worked for someone else. You'll have let life pass you by, and you'll never have done the great things that you could have done, because because you never got really intentional about your life. So that's what this goes into, as being intentional.
My book takes it a lot lightheartedly. It goes, visualize someone walking towards you that's your future self a year from now. And then it asks, now think deeply. What have you done with your life over the past year? How do you feel inside? And then what do you look like, and how do you want your personality to be in a year? Mine takes a lot more lighthearted than if you were coming up to your casket and seeing your dead self. How do you want the people around you to describe yourself? I heard it from his audiobook. It describes it as, how do you want your boss, your friends, your family, your son, your daughter, your dad to describe you as a person?
Yeah, and I've heard it described as your dash, that dash, what will, that little dash that we have on our tombstones is the little bit of time that we have here on earth, on a little bit of time on life. What's your dash gonna say? And then this one goes on, in the adult version goes on to say, all things are created twice, begin with the end in mind, is based on the principle that all things are created twice. And what that saying is, in that, how I read it was that that in our imaginations, that if we don't have a vision of what our life's going to look like, then we'll never be able to live it out. In the same concept, if you never have a blueprint for your house and a clear picture of a house that you're going to build, you put it down on paper first before you ever bring it into life. And the same thing with a life vision kind of thing, that you have to have a vision for what your life is going to be before you can ever bring it into fruition.
My book describes building a house, and you need a blueprint before you even begin building the house, or you don't have anything to be building in the first place. Same with your life. You have to have a blueprint or an idea of where you want to end off before you start going into your life and ending off your life. After the business retreat that I went to a few weeks ago, I was really thinking that we need to have our blueprint, and then we have our do print, because if we don't get doing on our blueprint, that's a problem too. Is a lot of people get the information, but they don't have an implementation, and that's what we need sometimes too. Is once we have that blueprint, we need to figure out that do part of it. And then one of the part of doing is you need to lead in what you do as well. My book describes the part of leading as in, so one of the describes as there's this 10K that they were doing, and then a whole bunch of people were at the line, and then some confident people started walking because they didn't think they were at the beginning. And then, as normally goes, the crowd starts to begin to follow the herd. And then everyone started walking for about a mile before they realized, oh, they were at the beginning, and they need to go back. So the book's basically saying, don't follow the crowd, because 9 times out of 10, the crowd isn't always right. To make those different choices and be yourself in what you believe in.
And I've heard that described before is if you do what everybody else does, you'll get what everybody else gets. And if you're looking for a mediocre life, I mean, there's plenty of room. It's always crowded at the bottom because nobody's really doing that much. No one really has a vision for their life, so it's crowded at the bottom. But if you really do have a vision and you really get concentrated, that you'll get up there where other people aren't actually willing to go, and it's not so crowded. And then life can become more about collaborating than competing, because people are competing for a little at the bottom, where the people who have a lot at the levels where they really know where they're going, that they're actually collaborating and they're not so much competing, and they're helping each other more than thinking you're going to get mine and I'm going to get yours, and all that kind of mindset too.
That is a very powerful mindset I know one of the future steps is win-win. That brings in a lot of the win-win mindset of what is it that they're going to get and what is it I'm going to get. Not how am I going to affect the other person and just win from it.
Yeah, and then in next parts in my book, it really goes deep into like a script for your life, and then a mission statement, and it really dives deep into mission statements. And I hope that we'll work more on that later. But I know some of my mission statements, and I'm not that much of a religious person. I'm more of a relationship person. So mine would be more like a Christ-centeredness that I want to live a Christ-like life. And so what that would mean is that I always want to be a service to others and to help others in the best way I can, and then to use all my talents and treasures to make life better. And what that looks like for me a lot of times is I almost get to be a pivot guy a lot of times, because I'm reaching down to pull one person up, and then I have a person who is mentoring me, helping to pull me up. And I've had that a lot in different seasons of my life. And if you have that, you're fulfilling both things. You're finding a way for yourself to grow, and then to turn back and help someone else to grow. And that's always been an important part for me.
I feel that is very important, being able to help other people grow and having someone else that can support you.
Right. And Zeke was at a business meeting this weekend, and you learn if you think you're the smartest guy in the room, then you're really dumb. Isn't that the truth? If you're the smartest guy in the room, a lot of times, and you don't have other people that you're learning from.
If you think you're the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah. And
usually the person that feels like they're the dumbest is usually some of the smartest people in the room.
Well, and they're humble and they're teachable a lot of times. And I don't mean it necessarily as dumb, but you really got to remain teachable. And if you're not looking for
willing to learn too.
Yeah, if you don't have that teachable learning mindset, then
you can't
block.
Be arrogant.
Right, and I think arrogance blocks off a lot of people from growing more than they could. And I've expressed it before as I've had conversations with other people that I was kind of mentoring and leading. And everything you would say, they would say, I know, and it's like, well, if you
know, then why aren't you doing it?
And that becomes like a locked door to your future, because you already know, and you can't.
Or you say you know.
Yeah, you say you know, and then you can't let any more information. And so what else you got? Yours doesn't go that deep on personal mission statements, right?
It goes over people's mission statements, not so deep in. It goes into how to make your own, but it's not so deep either. It shares the 7 strong ones that are religion, education, succeeding, productive, exercise, caring, and truthful.
Yeah, and this starts out with what your center would be, and that would be security for a lot of people, guidance, wisdom, power. And it has a little diagram, a written out diagram of the center and what those might look like. And then it also goes into alternative centers. And I think some of these are really strong in me too. Is my alternate centers would be being a good dad, being a good husband, being a good worker, that kind of stuff. And then it also goes into other ones called money centeredness. And I've had that before, where the money centeredness just in the world of addictions, a lot of times, the addict and all those, the alcoholic, we call it the ick at the end of the alcoholic. You take away the alcohol and you still have the ick, and a lot of those icks come through as like workaholism and other isms, like other addictions kind of spring up after you take away your main addictions. And if you don't work on your other icks, you'll stay sick with your ick, right? And if you don't, and to me, that's always been kind of a spiritual answer. And if you don't dive deeper into your spirituality and all of that, you'll continue on your icks. You'll just kind of switch them from being possessed by your possessions, being possessed by money, being possessed by this. And if you don't delve deeper into your spirituality, you'll always have those icks that you'll struggle with that pull you way off balance, because you don't know your center yet.
Sounds very important to think about those kind of things, especially getting rid of the ick. You don't want to be stuck with the ick for so long. And
a lot of people do it. The other way that I've one of the teachers that I really fell in love with was Richard Rohr. And while he's not an addict or an alcoholic, he's a Franciscan. And if you look at Franciscanism, I really like what Saint Francis, the Saint Francis prayer. A lot of people have heard of before, but what he talks about is is, you know, we all have our addictions, and our greatest addiction is being addicted to our broken ways of thinking. And I think that rings very true, because if you think about the Einstein statement, or whatever that statement was, where it says that a broken mind can't think its way past its own broken ways of thinking, I think that's very true, where if you don't have anybody else to put other stuff in, or you don't seek out outside information and inspiration, you can't change your broken thinking on your own.
And then somewhere in my book it mentions something like that, where you can't do something just for yourself. That
Yeah,
doesn't seem right.
self-centeredness, yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh, no, I can't remember.
And I think that whenever you go into that, you know, it says if you want to go somewhere fast, go by yourself. But if you want to go somewhere far, go with others. And I think that there's a certain sense of things that if you're just self-centered, then you can do some stuff. But if you're other-centered, you can actually really make a difference and have a legacy, make a ripple with your life, and actually build teams that make a difference instead of just doing stuff on your own.
And then it doesn't impact as many people too if you
Absolutely
do it just
not,
on your own.
right. Yeah.
It impacts you, but there's always that niceness of being able to impact someone else's life for the better.
Yeah, because in the end, it goes into principle-centered, and I think that's where you really have to dig into what are the principles you're going to live by. There was a movie that I watched last night. I can't think of the name of it, but it goes into the 12 gifts. Did I send you that? I can't remember if I sent you that or not, but I stayed up really late last night, got up too early. Plus, it's Momika's birthday this tomorrow. So we were doing some birthday celebrating stuff today too. So if you have the chance, wish Monika
That's why we end up
happy
doing this
birthday.
late, because both of us never got time to really read until the day after our
And it's
birthday
just been
plans.
a busy week, and
we said we were going to do it once a week.
And
So
that's one of the other things of this book, is you have that paradigm shift that you pre-decide stuff and then you follow through on it, and that's what I've really been trying to leave my yeses be yes and my no's be no, and to
although we had everything going away from doing this today,
it would have been really easy to just pass it by. So we're really glad to be here with you doing this,
because I'm still sick right now, and I'm like, I don't really want to do this today, but no, we're here, we're doing it. Once a week. Hold us accountable to that too, people.
Yeah. So as it starts to come into the end, it has a diagram wheel of your principles being your center. Your principles being your center, and then everything else surrounding it, and then remember that your paradigm is the source from which your attitudes and behaviors flow. The paradigm is like a pair of glasses. It affects the way you see everything in your life. If you look at things through the paradigm of correct principles, what you see in life is dramatically different from what you see through any other centered paradigm. And I think that for me, as a young person, I if I had principles, I let addictions and other things take them away. And so I kind of lost my moral compass for a season. And I know today I really want to be a principle-centered person, and I want to be able to give those principles away to other people. And that's a really, really big, important thing to me. And then digging into that mission statement, you know, in the rooms of recovery, we have a mission statement that says that when the hand of anyone reaches out for help, you always want a hand to be there to help them. And I want to. And that's very, very Christ-centered to me, that when somebody else reaches out their hand for help, I want to be a hand that helps, and that would be my greatest thing that I want to have happen with my life is to say that I did indeed make help for the suffering.
I would say that would be an end goal in mind, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be indeed. And so, did you get into the visualization and affirmations?
No, there's not.
So beans, I really struggled with this before, because my self-talk can be really crappy, and I've had to work on that a lot over the years. One of mine's right now, and so I can bring mine up right now, and I have a hard time with the money part too, because I get all twisted up of being possessed by money, and I've really had to look at my money mindset over the years. And one of those right now would be I am, because I am affirmations are generally I am statements. I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am wonderful and wise. And I would have had a hard time saying that before, because you think that when you get into the wonderful parts that that it might be kind of egotistical, but if you go just like biblical or whatever, God says that we are wonderfully made, and I kind of believe that true. And so I've really grown in self-appreciation. And that would be one of the things that I would like to leave for my children too, is to have you know that you are wonderfully made, and to have your self-talk not be
so negative.
So negative. But yeah, it really goes into that kind of at the end, and then to step away from that and visualize of what you want your life to be in all areas of your life, to be of greater service to others, identifying roles and goals. And so that's about all we got for tonight, right?
Yeah, my book also mentions the servitude and being out there and helping people.
Right. And
so that being said, what kind of mission statements do you have in mind that you're going to try and keep up to?
Oh, I know that I'm going to use my talents and treasures to serve humanity in many different ways. Here's one of them right there. My mission is to live with integrity to make a difference in the lives of others. I have charity. I seek out love. Love each one, regardless of his situation. I think that's always been an important one. I sacrifice. I devote my time, talents, and resources to my mission. You know, we've done that a lot over the years. You've been a serving guy forever. I inspire. And this is one where I think that I've struggled a little bit, because I haven't had the self-confidence to teach. I inspire. I teach by example that we are all.
Teach quite a bit.
I'm trying to give myself more credit for that too, because, and I want to teach more on a broader basis, and this would be part of that. I inspire. I teach people by example that we are all children of a loving Heavenly Father, and that every Goliath can be overcome. So my Goliath would definitely be my self-talk. And that, the waythrough.org, the way through can certainly help with that a bunch too, if you haven't been to that yet. I am impactful, and that's what I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am wonderful and wise. I am impactful. What I do makes a difference in the lives of others. So I would have you know that too, Ezekiel Wooley. What you do makes a difference in the lives of others. Yeah.
I try and keep that in mind, especially everything you do, even if it's positive or negative. You have to keep in mind that does impact someone else.
Yeah, that would remind me of like our good buddy Donnie D. I ain't gonna say the rest of it. He knows what the Donnie D stands for. Donnie D. But you know, you're either leading the way or you're leading astray, and today I really want to lead the way, and that way would be to loving kindness, and to hope and healing, and all those things, to lead to a better way of life than just living for yourself and living for your selfish pleasures, like a lot of us do. So, what else you got?
I don't got much else.
But yeah, no, it was an interesting chapter, and I look forward to getting back with you next week. Maybe me and Zeke will have a nailed down mission statement for you. Love to hear what your mission statements are.
Yeah, and then as we get closer and closer to the end, we would like more suggestions on either books to do or topics to go address. We're mostly going to stick to funner topics, because we don't care so much about the strong and negative topics. We get that they're out there, but life is honestly too short to live to be so worried about the negative and stress that everything is out there for. But some of the if there are some stronger topics to go over and that has high interest, we might do it. But we'd like to do more fun. And especially as we do more scuba diving, we'll definitely bring in more scuba diving topics, because that's always our fun and hot topic to always talk about. But
also, you know, Ezekiel and I are both partnering in the professional service, the financial services.
Yes, we are.
If you're looking for life insurance and or just some financial
investment insurances, or to look into your whole entire investment plans and to do a financial needs analysis.
We're working with a coach who can help you along that line, and we're looking forward to the day when we can serve you in that capacity together. So.
And then once I turn 18, I'll be needing people to help me train so I can get my license. So if anyone is willing to help me, it's 2 months away from today. Exactly 2 months from today.
Yeah, 18. Oh my gosh. All right.
Crazy year. But
thank you for listening
thank
in.
you so much.
And we pray you a great day.
Great night.
Evening.
Wonderful start to the week, everyone. We hope everyone starts the week the best. And then our next one is, I haven't been paying attention. But first things first, that is the habit 3.
First things first. We say that a lot.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So we will start that one hopefully Saturday instead of Sunday.
No, hopefully we start it today, because if you wait.
No, I mean the video.
Yeah.
Instead of starting on Sunday, but
that is Stephen Covey and his son Sean Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People and 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens, and what we got from them.
Oh, it's reversed.
Yeah, it's reversed. So, but thanks for being here with us.
Thank you
See
so
you
much, guys.